All right, here we are now with Mr. Mike McCloud.
The one.
The one.
M1.
The one.
M1. That's right.
M1. So we have you are the.
I wish it was a car.
Right?
You need
Okay,
your
it's
own
the
car
title.
now.
Yeah,
So
that's
World
right.
Food Championships 2024, and we get to sit down with the founder of this. 12 years in the making now.
Right.
And this is incredible. And you guys this year have grown exponentially over last year and what you used to be doing.
We
so.
always like to evolve and grow and expand, and this year we put steroids.
And we're going to do
on-
it with some drinks.
We did steroids on that this year.
There we go.
So
Thank you, ladies.
Cheers.
this helps.
All right.
Cheers.
Yeah, we relax a bit on
Salud.
this one.
Yeah.
So everything down there, they can't see it, our viewers can't see, but we're overlooking the whole event, the venue, which we have plenty of roll with. But how does it feel? You're so uptight right now because this is everything you worked on for the year. And now here you are sitting here. Now take a breath. Smell the roses for 1 second. Isn't it cool though?
It really is pretty special, and,
Isn't it?
And the cool thing about this particular location is that we had such a clear span space, an empty canvas, if you will, to create exactly how we wanted to approach
Yeah.
the heartbeat of the competition, and then do the peripheral experiences for the consumers.
Yeah.
So to this vantage point is a perfect way to view all of the moving parts
Yeah. See all of it.
that we've been working on. And for someone like me, all the moving parts that should be moving that aren't moving. So that's the only thing I'm looking at. Is
Right.
Why is that not working? Why is this not moving? And
Yeah.
Where is that person?
Why is
Right,
that
right,
down
right.
right,
Otherwise,
now?
it's, it's actually pretty cool.
The outside eye, you guys have so many parts that are moving or not moving that it gets lost in translation anyway for the person, for the consumer.
Yeah.
Of course, you looking it over is amazing, and you're looking at it like, oh shit, that's not working. But I'm looking at there's a scissor lift with a cameraman over the other guy in a camera. There's so much going on here for the food. And what when you founded this, how long ago was that?
It was 12 years.
2012 is when we launched it. We started talking about it in 2010.
Are you a chef? Did you come from the
No,
background?
I actually have a marketing background.
Okay.
And I got involved with barbecue in 2006 and fell in love with the industry, the whole competition cooking industry, and realized there was a whole lot of stuff starting to pop up then. You know, Food Network was becoming huge, but so were individual silos like burger battles, sandwich slams, dessert offs, chef throwdowns, and then barbecue and chili. And so we were always meeting on a regular basis about how to improve barbecue. And one fateful meeting, we had come back from an event. We had seen 2 or 3 new things, and we'd heard they were claiming a world title here and a world title there and a world title. And one of us in our brainstorming strategy said, why is there not a Super Bowl of food? And every one of us just dropped our jaw and stopped right there.
It's key. And just the panels, everything.
hear
You're
it.
right. It is the Super Bowl of food. World Series, call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
I would
So-
say Super Bowl because there's that much entertainment.
It's the energy of it, yeah.
Between shows, there's a show. Between the halftime show, there's another show.
You got
These
it.
people over here, they're running down the red carpet trying to make the times. Very exciting. There was a lot of thought that went into this. I'm sure a lot of trial and error.
Oh my God.
As far as
I'm still hoping that they don't find any of the dead bodies from the first year
Yeah.
in Las Vegas.
Who went
shit
down?
went
Who got
down,
stabbed?
everything happened but the food.
But we didn't know what we didn't know, and we walked into Las Vegas. We partnered with Caesars. Somehow we convinced them to do this, and it was crazy. It was just absolutely nuts.
So
It-
year
it-
one was Vegas?
Year
the
one
first time
was,
you did it was
we go
Vegas.
Vegas.
Oh, you went big, you were like,
Well, we decided if we're going to be loud and obnoxious in
Go
the
to
food
Vegas.
space, we had to go to the loud and obnoxious city of Las Vegas. So we did, and it was a great year, great place to start. We learned very quickly there was a whole lot of things that all of our year and a half of planning didn't cover.
Right.
And we backed up for a minute and said, maybe we shouldn't try to be so robust at first.
Right.
Maybe we need to
Yeah.
dial this back in a little
Build
bit.
up.
But the truth be told, from a chef-centric perspective, from a team perspective, from day one, we knew we had hit a nerve. We had found a stream of consciousness that mattered.
Yeah.
And the question became, all right, if once you come to the competition and you see your favorite chef competing, do well or not do well, what else do you do? Right? In Vegas, we didn't have to worry about it too much because there's so much to do.
Yeah.
Right? We did it on Fremont Street a couple of years. So if you can't be entertained on Fremont Street, you don't have a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Sure.
So as we started moving to other places of the country, we realized this has to be a consumer experience.
Yeah.
The biggest thing we ever had to overcome, and I know you're probably going to ask that question, is cooking in general, food competitions in general, aren't great spectator sports.
Yeah.
Right? You can watch a steak sizzle for about 2 minutes before you get bored.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we knew that we had to start adding components and adding things for consumers to hang around.
To stay.
Watch this burger category because everybody's going to go ooh and ah.
Yeah.
But after that's over with, go over
What are you
here
gonna do?
and see a demo, and then go over there and have a tasting, and go over there and have a free drink.
Get a drink.
Right? So we had to start really programming all of
Okay.
those things, and it took us a while to get to a point where we could unveil it in such a big, robust, what I call Rubik's Cube of food competition.
And,
Yeah.
and with that being said, if you look, Kristen, if we look around, we were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
There's so much more going on. So you got to put together that, make sure that all works. So everything you just said is right in line. But in that time, in all these years that you've done it, you've almost had to generate your own identity in your own world, your own judging system, your own logos. You have to get networked in with the cities you're hosting. You have to have already all this stuff you've already produced. You have to store it somewhere. You have to lug it, ship it. You have to just, there's so many moving parts that people don't even know what it takes to put on a show like this. Your grills, are these sponsors? Are these donated? Did you purchase them? There's so many grills and so many stovetops and cooktops. Just the restaurant
Well,
equipment
you
I'm
have
looking
40
at now.
kitchens.
Can you go back to
inside.
2011 and have that
Yeah.
conversation with me? Because
Yeah.
I'm not sure I knew all that
Yeah.
at the time. But you're
Right.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. And the other thing on top of it that people don't realize, and this is where sometimes people may not truly understand how complicated this is. We're trailblazing.
Absolutely.
We call
the
this
first,
we
yeah.
call this food sport. There was no
Yeah.
game
No
plan.
such thing.
You know,
Yeah.
if you're starting a basketball team for a charity or a local church group or anything like that, you know the goal is going to be 10 feet tall.
There's
Yeah,
a
you got
template.
You know
It's
there's
kind
a
of a
foul
template.
line.
Yeah.
You know there's out of bounds.
Yeah.
You know it's 90 feet.
There's decades of guidelines.
Exactly. There's already guidelines. We had to create all
Yeah,
that for food sport. The red
Wow.
carpet didn't come
Amazing,
into
yeah.
existence until 3 years ago.
Sure.
Wow.
And it was almost by accident. We were like, okay, we need to figure out how we can funnel people in front of the stage because that's the most exciting part of food sport.
Yeah,
And
it's running.
I remember standing there and saying, can we make them come from the same space on two kitchen arenas? And the guy said, yeah. I said, well, why don't we put some carpet down here? Why don't we make a red carpet?
Why
It
not?
would be cool. So,
Why not put
and
a stage in the middle of
Velvet
it?
ropes and everything. It,
It
just
was a
sets
hit.
it
It
right
was a
off
hit
the
as
bat.
soon as it happened.
Right
Yeah.
off the bat. So now, being a chef, coming from the chef world, I can say this over and over again, in which I am redundant on it because it's that exciting to me. I'm in the kitchen all the time. My staff, my crew, my team, my brigade, we work day in and day out. We are constantly competing every night with the thing. So we don't really get that competitive drive anymore.
Yeah.
Because we're constantly making a living
You
off
do if you come
competition.
here, brother.
That's what I mean. So what this does is it refires, rekindles something inside of me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To want to be part of it and to want to go back home now. These guys are inspiring me.
Yeah.
You're inspiring me. Everything's inspiring me. You know what? I've done my thing and I'm working up my ladder of success in the restaurant world, right? And just like all the hidden secrets that it takes to run this, same things happen in the restaurants. Then if you own two, it doubles up and everything else. So when you come to something like this and see someone else bringing this type of energy and seeing all these chefs competing, all these wannabe chefs competing, or whatever you want to call them, but they are all very skilled and talented. The judges, all the people who are taking the passion to be here really have a heart in this, man. And you've designed this to work. We're overlooking
it.
now. We have mixology competitions going on right now. These people are traveling from all over the world
All over.
to compete here.
Yeah.
And they're not competing here for the first time. They've had this preliminary.
They had to win their way in.
They had to
Yeah.
win their way
Yeah.
here. So you've set up a lifestyle throughout the year and celebrate it here in the Super Bowl, like you said.
Chefs finally have their own platform and their own league. That's what
way
we've
to put it.
created.
Yeah.
And it's kind of special and because this whole event and everything you go through here, the reason it gives you passion and drive and energy is that you finally get celebrated for what you do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Most events that you go to, it's called, South Beach, Aspen Food and Wine, any of those big, beautiful events that are a lot of fun for consumers to go to. You know what the dirty little secret behind the scenes is? Chefs are having to work their ass off.
Yep. Money.
They're having to work their asses off just to serve people, which they do every single day. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Here,
There's nothing for them.
you
And-
come here to prove that you're the best at something. So the energy level is different.
right.
It goes through different parts of your heart here.
There's competitors out there. I can see it in their eyes.
Oh,
They're
that's
hungry.
amazing.
People refuse to talk to us because they're focusing on the dish they have to come with.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me, and I get it because I'm in the business.
Yeah.
I am a chef, and I'm like, good answer, sir.
Yes.
Ma'am. You know what I mean?
Like,
Whatever
I
it
don't
may
have
be.
time for you right now.
Right, exactly, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
They're focused, and that's a spark that we lose sometimes. And it's just
And you lose that spark sometimes because I think this industry is the most overworked, underappreciated industry.
it is
Right?
It's only appreciated if you are at the top of it.
If you're Gordon Ramsay, if you're
Exactly.
Guy Fieri.
If you're bringing something
Yeah,
to
you
your
get into
area,
the millionaire, multi-millionaire
That's what
zone,
percentage?
right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not
less
every
than
day.
it's less than 1%.
Yeah.
Every
and so
city
what
and
happens
town
to
has
great
that top
chefs
to
like
it.
you? Where do you get your energy? Where do you get your payoff?
Yeah.
For these chefs, these competing chefs, they get their energy and payoff from being called out and going to the stage
And going
because they
on
were
the
fifth or
stage.
fourth or third or second.
Sure, putting that
and then
gold
they,
on
Then they
and
win
stuff,
some
yeah.
money,
Yep.
right? And one day that money's going to be a lot more money,
sure.
and it's going to be tied to a TV show that's
Oh.
going to help launch their careers to the next level. In the
Amazing.
meantime, they're moving their pedigree and their resume up of a notch, and so they can go back to their bosses and they go
And
back to
say,
their hometowns.
I did this.
I achieved this for
Yeah.
Biloxi, or I achieved this for Nashville, or
Yeah.
wherever they're from.
But even when they don't win here, they've already won to get here. It's
They
almost
did.
like kind of like the American
They did.
Idol kind of thing. Like you already won because you beat all these other people to get to this point. And it's year round.
We track every media hit
Yeah.
through our alert system,
Mm-hmm.
and we get about 3,000 stories a year written
Okay.
about the World Food Championships.
Wow.
And it's because someone won the Tupelo
Local. Yeah.
honey contest, and all of a sudden, that
So
area
cool.
in Tupelo gets behind that chef because
Sure.
they hear, oh, he's
Right.
going, he or she's going to the World Food Championships to compete for Tupelo.
That's right.
And
right.
it's community, more community.
Right.
I had 1,000 interactions on this just because I was coming here in my area. So I mean,
Yeah.
my platforms brought a lot of attention
Right.
to this, and now I've actually
fun.
had text messages from people who are just asking me how it's going here because they're watching on my. We're feeding from here too.
Yeah.
We're putting out our shorts while we're here. I'm sure this is going to hit out. This conversation is going to hit out as soon as we're done, and people are going to comment and exactly what you're talking about. It's that effect. It's that.
Well,
what's the
you
word?
know, I mean, it's the power
Yeah.
of media at this
Power of
point,
media,
and the power
yeah.
of the voice, and just getting it in front of people that many touch points where they're like, oh, I have to go to this
Awareness,
event now. Yeah.
and then not only supporting your favorite chef or supporting your favorite cook, but being entertained.
Yeah,
by it.
the
Like,
entertainment's big, yeah.
Most people will never set foot on a food TV scene,
Show.
Or have the opportunity
a
to do
set,
so.
Yeah, yeah.
right? Or have the opportunity to do so.
Right.
Here, you get all of that and more, and just visiting.
Yeah.
Sure.
You get to see it. You get really close to the kitchen.
Smell
You
it.
get to smell it, feel it, hear it.
Well, and they're talking to you. Like, we're down
Yeah.
there, the chefs that are down there cooking, like Machete, and so like he's with every person there, talking
Yeah.
to them. He's cooking. They feel like they're getting that chef experience because it's so personal.
So for a foodie
yeah,
who just loves watching food on TV, this gives them a chance to really feel the energy.
Live. It's live.
And guess what? There's no redos.
No.
That's what makes it food sport.
live.
I do this for
You
a living
live.
daily, and I feel the energy.
Yeah.
I'm excited watching them. There's no redundancy for me here. I'm watching them, and I'm excited about it because they are doing things in a small little area. I'm impressed by how they're putting it together. They're doing it in a very
Not
fast
with
time.
fancy equipment either.
No equipment. This is very archaic, really.
Yeah, it is.
Realistically,
it could be improved
class top
10
stove.
times, and
Sure.
we're gonna do that.
Right. With that comes more success, and like I said, this city here seems to be holding up their end as far as what I see as being a perfect location. You're in the middle of the country,
agree.
pretty much. The place is beautiful.
easy to get to.
Easy.
It seemed
to get to.
you walk off that airport and you see all this this hype in the airport. I felt good being a chef. I wanted to walk around my chef coat outside of my luggage bag,
So you
so
had it
so I
to
can
be a
feel like
part
I'm
of it.
part of it. Like I'm here for it. I'm here.
After
Yeah.
You
2
know
or
what I mean?
3 years here, I think that is going to be the thing to do.
Grow it.
It'll
Sure.
be Chef Week, or it'll
Chef
be
Week.
Food
Chef
Week,
Week, yeah.
right?
And that's a
just,
good dream.
Just like Daytona, and of course I shouldn't say Daytona in the home of the Indy 500, but just like they have in NASCAR, they have the Speed Week.
Sure.
I
I'm a
think-
motorcycle enthusiast, so we have Sturgis, we have Laconia,
Yeah.
Bike
We're gonna
Week in
create
Daytona.
Food Week.
Shark Week.
Yeah.
I mean, you got all sorts of things.
The celebrities in town are going to be people wearing this right here, the chef jacket.
Everybody
Exactly.
needs to wear it, and I mean, even one of the restaurants we went to, like they asked, we didn't even really say anything, and they were like, "Oh, how's
That's
the World
awesome.
Food Championships going?" Like they
Awesome.
already were watching and knew, like
That's awesome.
from the just seeing people's faces and
The beauty of Indianapolis, and I've been, every step of the way, I've been in numerous cities with this event. Indianapolis brings big city to the table with media and population, professional sports, football, basketball, the Indy cars. But it also brings small community.
Big time. Yes, you're right.
Midwest
You're
feel.
one phone call away from anybody that you need in a town like Indianapolis.
He
I
said
told her
that the other
yesterday,
night.
I said, why is everybody so nice?
Yeah.
Well, we come on the East Coast,
Well, I grew up
Northeast.
in Michigan, so I am Midwest.
She's like, it's
technically.
Midwest.
And I'm
I'm like,
like,
everybody's
Midwest
so
is just pretty laid back
Kids have
culture.
manners.
Everybody's pretty
Yes, sir.
nice.
No,
they
sir.
want to talk
Right.
to you.
Love
It's
it.
not. It's not New York. It's not a lot of East Coast feel. So it's great. But this event in total, because it's our first time being here and not our last, but this has been a spectacular example of what is possible.
I agree.
So congratulations
Thank
to
you.
you and your
I'm
team.
a hard guy to hook as far as the
He
culinary
is.
industry.
He's a
'cause
little
I'm so-
stubborn about stuff.
I'm so used to being taken advantage of as a chef, like you were saying earlier. You were talking about how you have these food shows. Typically, to get me to a food show or to do an event or to guest as a chef takes a lot for me, and it usually comes down to money because all they want me for is to make money on their own. They don't really care about the chefs.
Yeah.
They don't
Make
care about
money
that. They
off
care
of
about
you.
how they're going to sell their knives or how they're going to sell sponsorship booths.
Right.
And if they bring me there, then that might help. Well, I'm not down for that. Here, I don't feel that way at all.
That's
I
not-
am no
It's
different.
not the
great
game
feeling.
plan. It's not
I-
our strategy.
I
No.
feel no bigger than anyone in this room and no smaller. I think everyone in here is on the same level.
Yeah.
They're all on the same focus. The respect from the chefs here is on the same level, where everyone's equal here. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and I'm glad you said that because one of the big things we focused on early on with this is playing no favorites. We pretty much played Switzerland. We didn't care what your background was as a chef. You could be a home cook.
Sure.
You could be a classically trained chef. You could be a self-taught chef. You could be a line cook. You could be a Michelin-starred chef. You could be a pro team, barbecue team.
You either can do
we
it
didn't
or you
care.
Just
cannot.
qualify.
We didn't care. We developed the level playing field. We developed the rules. We developed the challenges. We developed the judging process. And as long as you follow that and you follow that, we don't care what your background
That's
is.
right.
I love
Goal's
it.
the goal.
Yeah.
And that gives everyone opportunity because just because you're a chef doesn't mean you can go on that stage right there in 1 hour and produce what you need to. But that person who doesn't work may be able to. And it all comes down to that. So you had to qualify to get here.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So whether you got here from your home kitchen or you didn't, you still had to go through all the steps of everybody else. So there's no one up on the other.
Yep.
And I've noticed before that, I won't say names, but there's been celebrity chefs here that look to me and they're, oh, you're still in it heavy like that? You're still cooking like that? They're looking at me like I'm the celebrity now because they've been out of it so long that they have a pride for people who are still in the industry,
Still doing
still
the
cooking it,
dirty
still
work.
coming
Yeah.
here and still up in the grit. I
Love
don't see
it.
myself leaving that anytime soon, but I would like to at some point as I
Yeah.
grow, But right now, that's not my focus. I'm still in line with trying to be the best chef I can be and lead my team. But this right here is definitely helping me and bringing
Yeah.
me to it.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, thank
So
you
I
for
think a
bringing
lot
it
of
to
people
us.
don't know, like it is kind of year round as far as quality. So where would anybody who's listening, where would they start to get into this and how do they find out more about
So
it?
I would encourage everyone to check out our social media and then go to our website, worldfoodchampionships.com. We have a million pages on that website, and one of them focuses on qualifiers, has a list of all our golden ticket partners. So, and it's January 1 to December 31st.
So it's all year.
Yeah.
So people need
Yeah.
to go on, start looking at it to qualify for that.
In
And
fact, the first people qualifying into next year's championship will be anyone who finishes in the top 10 here.
yeah, the
So you're
top
already
10 of every
starting next
category
year.
goes
They
towards
get an
next year.
automatic berth
Gives you
into
an
next year.
automatic entry.
Sure, I got
into
you. Right.
next
So
year, yeah.
so now what happens? So right away though, without that being said, your next qualifiers for next year have already begun in a sense.
have.
As soon as this is done, you're moving into the next phase already, right? There's
Yeah,
no downtime.
there are food events and contests every single weekend in America. So next weekend, there will be a contest somewhere that's a qualifier for the World Food Championship.
Okay.
Don't ask me where it is.
Well,
but
we're going to talk to you about that. We need this in Hampton Roads in Virginia.
Love it.
So we need to have a
We'd love to have
qualifier
a
in our
qualifier
area.
there.
So we will talk to you
Let's
about
do it.
that because we will help with that. So that
Yes,
will be
absolutely.
fun.
We'd
So
be proud to do that.
yeah,
So
but we're
we-
proud to be here. I finished mine. So
Yeah, we're gonna wrap
I need to
this up
catch
we,
up.
because
we
we're-
had you talking way too much.
Thank you
I'm
for your
sorry.
time. We know
You're
you're
most
busy.
welcome.
You're in the middle
you.
of the highest point of this competition
Event.
right now. The event is in full swing. I encourage anyone, any chef out there, any restaurant person, anyone who's not, anyone listening to this podcast,
And bartending.
focus in on this bartending. They have a huge bartending thing here, which the
Mixology,
mixology thing's going to be great. Just get into it. Look at this. Come out of the kitchen a little bit, experience a little bit, and come and take
Yeah.
the trip. Give yourself a
Love
culinary trip out here, and check them out. Check us out. We're
Mike,
following
thank
it.
you. All right, we
Enhanced
got it.
perspective, bringing it. right here to the World Food Championships in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you again, my man. Appreciate everything
My
you do. Ciao for now.
Ciao.
Cheers.